is up, YouTube? This is the other project I was telling y'all about in the other video. I got a two-stroke bush trimmer, hedge trimmer, whatever you want to call it. And my buddy from my job I work with as a roofer, he let me have it. Only thing about it, it fires, it runs, everything on it. There's not a problem there. But the gas tank's got a leak to it. And I have an idea where it's at, but I'll have to take some of this apart and see if I can't make a gasket, a seal, put some putty in it or something, I don't know. But still need to get my stand running. I'm going to try to see if I can do different camera setups so y'all be able to see what I'm working on here. But let me let y'all go for now. Let me get everything set up and get my tools together real quick, and then we'll work on the gas tank. There's something down up underneath there, up under the tank. I probably can't see it with all that stuff in the way, but I don't really know. Somewhere where the tank mounts. Can't see it with all this stuff in the way, so I have to rip a few things apart. But let me get to it, and I'll be back. Alright, YouTube. Kinda got the camera set up a little bit, but I figured out where it's leaking from. On the bottom of the tank, or the I want to say this is the receiving line, and then there's a return line, but there's a gasket right there. It's pretty loose, and it lifts up, and I believe that's where it's leaving. I guess I don't know, you call that a petcock? Is that what would be the technical name for that? So yeah, that was just a return line, so if that was leaking at all, I'll put some electrical tape. See where the return line is really loose, I'll put some electrical tape and that'll seal that up perfectly. But my main problem is, yeah, I guess technically you call that the petcock. But now the filter looks good in there at least. Gotta see if where it's leaking in there. In all my two strokes, I use this. It's pre-mixed already. It's 95 octane, so I'm just going to put a little bit in there. It gets sloshed on that seal. Yeah, see it? See it dripping down there? Well, that hole's there, but I can still feel it running down my finger. Oh. So, if I can carefully I'm just dropping gas everywhere. Let me clean it up, figure out a way to stop it from leaking there. I got some rubber I'll use, maybe make another gasket. But alright, I'll be back, YouTube. Alright everybody, I'm going to show you what I did. And I'll put it back together and just do something else to it. But, super simple, super redneck. I just wrapped it with electrical tape. It was the only thing that I had disposable. And when it gets hot, it gets sticky too. So that'll help keep a good seal. I know there's a couple air pockets in there, but the hole at the bottom is even smaller to make it tighter around there. And then I wrapped around the return line petcock, and it was still rubber. It had a rubber grommet around it, like the bottom one, but they were just so loose and flopping around, and the tube that goes to the return, it just was in and out easy. There was nothing to it, so I'm hoping that does that. And another thing I was wanting to do is pull the carb, clean it up a little bit. I don't have an air filter. I might be able to mod one in there. I believe I got the carb set. It's set right now without an air filter, so the air filter I put on it, I'll probably have to readjust it. I want to clean that. I want to check the plug out. The buddy I got it from, my roofing boss, and that's Kenneth Sullins Roofing, out of Silver Creek, Georgia. If you're in the northwest Georgia area and you need a roof, we can do it. Free estimate, insured, good crew, professionally installed. But that's it. Let's see if I can set this up in my mount again here and let's see what we're looking at. Hold on, y'all. Alright, don't look too bad there. I think we can manage with that, don't you? So I'll be putting the tank on here. So, alright. Roll this back over. And obviously the bolts to the tank there is part of the body mount, because it sits on these rubber bushings. So when this thing goes back together, we gotta do it right. Let's get I get the hose out of there. The intake line. Let me make sure that didn't push that all the way through. No, I think we're good. Try to get that there, and then let me get the return line, because I might have to oh, without a problem. Alright, now I think just like that, and then if it goes right, let's turn it over. Just like that. And the screws are still in it, which is awesome. Now let's see if I can get it lined up. Roughly. I think I got one side. need to get a ratcheting torque set. That's what's on the bottom of these. It's Torx. This whole thing, I think, is got Torx screws in it, which I prefer. Obviously, this one's not in the hole. Let's roll it this way. Yeah, that's good right there. Let's give it a good little tighten. I got a few things to be doing out here really to make my job easier. I got this other vise. Thing about mounting where the little one's at. But I kind of like the open space. So what I'm thinking about doing is permanently bolting it down here at the end of the table. And this little one, I can detach it if I need it. So I'll just pull it off or something if I need to, but that is that. And before I keep on doing anything else, let's can you see the carburetor from there? A little bit. Let's see if we can get a better angle. How about that? Yeah. $8 mil nut. Put that metal frame up against it. Actually, that metal frame is a 360 custom case. Made that at work one day. My godson knocked it over one day and scratched one of my games. So it's about 20 pounds steel. I welded it up myself. Like, it ain't going nowhere now. Well, let's get this cracked open. And get some of this stuff cleaned up. I'll try to keep this air box as long as I can. Carburetor looks clean. You see it? Pretty clean inside, and butterfly in there looks good. There's really no need to clean it, other than that, the intake part there. So I have an idea what I'll use for the intake filter. It's gonna be hard to clean this stuff with all the grooves in there. Do the best you can. But I think these are designed because the jet is I don't know if you can see it, but there's the jet right here that sucks is what the engine runs out of. And these are designed with a back plate. I think I would call it a restrictor plate. It's the closest thing I could think of it, in my opinion. But it's designed to catch that fuel that's spitting out of that jet, because it'll try to come back out of the carburetor. So I think that's a design issue. And another thing, the way the carb's built, if you can see, the air goes up under here behind this plate, and the choke close off that valve a little bit. So I think I have an idea. Just trying to wipe some of this dust around it. Overall though, the carb itself is in real good shape. Oh. I got a air filter over here. I'll show you what I think I might try to mod. I'm not sure if it'll work. Hold on a second. Alright, here. I have a lawnmower air filter modded to this box. I was using that at one time. I don't know. I'm thinking of putting this air filter box. So I don't know if it'd work, I believe. I couldn't mount it in there like that, because I wouldn't have a flange. That'd be awesome. But let me get some tinkering, and I'll get an update for y'all. And I hope to have it fired up. If I can't get nothing air filter wise done to it, I'm just going to start running it. It's not that bad out there today. It's actually pretty non-dusty. It rained this morning. All the gravel and dirt and driveway and whatnot still pretty wet, so I ain't gonna really worry about the dust issue today. But let me get this going, and I'll be back with y'all. Alright, YouTubers. Other than it being fucking hot as shit still out here, I got it fixed. I just filled up the tank. Don't see no leaking. I modified the air box. It's a little bit of redneck job work here, but for what it is, I'm telling y'all, it's gonna be great. But here, the tank, nothing's leaking yet that I can see. Oh, I'm gonna take that back, but it ain't pouring like it was. That might be just some the runoff up top, but that's that taken care of. And this is my air box. I just modified the intake ports on it there and just wrapped it in there with a bunch of tape. It's pretty sturdy, so let me get y'all set up and we're going to try to fire it up. And I got another mess to clean up. Alright, let's get it primed. Got a little primer button in there. Just till that bubble's full, ought to be good. And then it's got a little bit of leakage still, but let's see if it'll fire up. I ain't got a choke on it now, so cold nature, y'all. I don't know. Might have to adjust the jets on it a little bit, because the air filter, it was running with no air filter when I had it wide open, so I might have to dumb them back a little bit, which ain't hard. There's 2 screws, a left and a right, or a high and a low, whichever one you open up or close, high RPM, low RPM. So we'll close the high of quarter turn, open the low a quarter turn. Let's see what we get. Alright, we'll go back the other way. This time we'll open the high half, and then we'll just we'll just go ahead and open up the low as well a little bit. Well, it's stubborn, so let me tweak the carbs, get the jet set right, because I gotta have an air filter on it. I can't ruin it. But I'll get back to you when it gets running.